Welcome to the CrossFit Sea Caucus at Home series. I'm Coach Rob, and with me today is Coach David. We're going to be working on a 21-minute AMRAP of 2 object ground to overhead, 2 up downs, and 2 mountain climbers, increasing 2 reps every single round. With the ground to overhead odd objects, if you have a pair of dumbbells, feel free to use the appropriate weight, 10s, 15s, and 20s. Recommended weight, if you've been doing this for a while, maybe 50 pounds for men, 35 for ladies. Scaled weight would be the 35 pound for men and maybe 15s or 20s for ladies. However, if you're cooped up inside and you don't have the necessary equipment, don't worry. Ground to overhead with an odd object can be done just about any single way, and we have a few different objects here to demonstrate. Now you're going to pick the appropriate weight depending on whether or not you want to make this more of a conditioning workout or a strength workout. You could pick something as challenging as maybe something that, like a heavy stone or a heavy rock, or something that weighs like 50 to 100 pounds, or you can keep it lighter and pick something closer to like a 10 or 15 pounds, right? Coach David's going to demonstrate with a few odd objects that you'd likely have around the house. Coach David's first going to grab his book bag. And so when we're doing this, all right, David, you want to turn to the side facing that way? Okay. So when we're doing this movement, right, we're going to set our feet, all right, just about our squat stance, chest up, shoulders back, abs nice and tight. I want you to hinge down, David, like we would for a deadlift, right? Nice flat back here when he's going to pick up the object. Head nice and neutral. I want you to grab and squeeze that object nice and tight, right? We want to make sure, again, we have a good grip on this object, all right? And we're going to bring it from the floor directly overhead, keeping as close to your torso as possible on the way up. Go ahead. And press overhead and then back down, keep it close to your body, right? Notice how he maintains that flat back on the way down too, right? He stands up all the way and he presses overhead. David, give me 2 more reps. Excellent. All right, relax. Okay, so if this object is no good or it's too light for you because you can only get maybe 20 pounds in here with some waters, right? Most of us should have a case of water that we can do this with, right? Now, remember that we're still going to do this the exact same way, keeping the object as close to us as possible, but now because the object's going to be heavier, we need to be much more careful. We need to make sure that we're squeezing the sides of the object super tight. All right, so David, let's get set on here. Make sure we still have that nice wide stance. Straight arms, chest up, squeeze tight, and go. Doing 2 more reps. And relax. So this is probably one of the more noisy variations that we could come up with, right? If you don't have a full case of water because you only have individual bottles or whatever, you might have other odd objects that are inside or outside the house. So one such object that most of us should be able to find is a microwave. David, same thing with the microwave. Now, with this object here, we have disproportionate weight in the object, so we're going to have one side that's a little bit heavier than the other, so we could always maneuver the object so that we could balance out the reps in between different sets, but we need to make sure that we take a staggered grip with it, so we're going to want to hoist underneath the larger side, or the heavier side rather, with the other hand. Same thing, ground to overhead, straight arms when we start, go straight, and grip, nice. So in this video here, the left side is much heavier, and relax, okay? The left side is much heavier than the right side. So if you wanted to balance these reps, you could always come and switch it to the other side on subsequent sets. The other 2 movements that we're going over is the up downs, okay? So our standard up down, we're gonna start from standard position, very similar to the burpee. Hands flat, feet flat. We're gonna move down to the floor. Go ahead. Okay, now kick your feet out. Come to this prone or plank position, kick your feet back, and stand up, nice and tall, right? No bending the arms, no jumping at all. David, 2 more reps. Straight arms, hands flat, right? 1 more time. Important to keep those hands flat. We don't want to dislocate the thumb or worry about injuring our wrist. Okay, and our last movement is going to be our mountain climber. So we're going to get down into the top of our plank position, also referred to as a prone position. What we're going to do is fast toes. Every single toe tap forward is going to be considered 1 repetition. Go ahead, David. Relax, okay? So he did a few different reps there, but just 1 on one side, 1 on the other side. They're going to count as individual reps, so he did about 4 or 5 there, right? I look forward to you guys trying this workout at home and see how many rounds you can get. Again, if you want to get, you'll get less rounds if you go heavier with your object, But either way, 21 minutes is a long time, so don't go too hot out of the gate. I look forward to seeing you. Please feel free to contact us with questions about this workout at trainers@crossfitseacaucus.com with this question about this or anything else that you might have. All right, take care.